you doing? I'm Mike Gaddy, and welcome to the Patterson Park Podcast. With each episode, I sit down and I talk to Baltimore's artists, entrepreneurs, and activists, people who march to the drumbeat of their own drummer. This week, I sit down with Ben DeHan of Ben DeHan Music, and he transfixed me. The reason is because in his journey, a journey of going from being in someone else's band to having a 9-to-5 job, realizing he had a recording opportunity, and moving into his own band, creating his own music group that then erupted onto the national music scene. That journey, and his journey of his relationship, where he met his fiancée, and she became the one who whispers in his ear, "Don't embrace the fear." Those stories that Ben tells and that Ben recounts, both through his music and in our sit-down interview, those reflect a lot of myself and who I am. And if you're a creative person who marches to their own drum beat, I suspect you'll see a lot of yourself in the stories that Ben tells. So sit back and take a listen as I explore those worlds with Ben DeHan of Ben DeHan Music. Take a listen. Let's back up for a second, because you said my favorite thing in all the world, which is, I really started Ben DeHan Music 2 years ago. Well, COVID has been going on for, 18 months now, 19 months now, which is roughly 2 years. Yeah. So you literally started your own going out and doing one of the hardest things possible to do, make a living as an artist during a pandemic.
Yeah, so, I guess there's two groups of people that you've seen come out of COVID, and some people leaned into it, and some people it affected in a different way, and I totally understand that too, because, I've dealt with, depression and anxiety, and I definitely, oh my God, struggled with that over, COVID for sure. But yeah, I somehow just kind of leaned into it, and I was just starting out directly prior to it. Again, I had worked at an office job that I really was unhappy at for about, I don't know, between 6 and 8 years, and wasn't doing music. And obviously prior to that, I had been touring full time and for years, and so I just hit this critical pain point of leaving that job and just sink or swim. And that was in September of 2020. And then, obviously COVID hit in March of 2021 when I was just gearing up, getting ready to play shows. And so at first,
you have the COVID date memory wrong. It was September 2019, March 2020. Right. Yeah, and I find myself doing this. So you were working a 9-to-5 job right before September 2019. See, I almost did. 2019, right before COVID hit in March 2020. You were working 9-to-5 job, and an opportunity came up for you to go make a major recording with one of your groups that you worked with, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you said, so you were going to take time off, and they said basically, if you don't come back if you do this, and you said see you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down, pretty much. I mean, and I choose not to do this anymore. This isn't the best way I can contribute. Not doing the best job I can for my clients in that former job. I'm not doing the best job for my boss. Like, there's people that are bitten by the music bug, it's it's hard to shake, I mean, like, you can't really, if you're truly bitten by it, like, it's in your DNA. So I had to come back.
I think that's true for creative people in general.
Yeah. You got to contribute, I mean, yeah, my 29th birthday was I look back at it as like, God, man, I was in the depths of it. I mean, That's kind of what the Faded Ones is about. I was just like, what the hell am I doing right now? I mean, I was so young and I felt like I was on such the right track, and then somewhere I just kind of felt like falling back into normalcy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And because people are rock stars at, any job that they do. There's rock stars out there killing it and they love it. And I think I just fell back on the fear of, societal pressure and, thinking that it would be easier for me to do a quote unquote normal job. And
'cause I've been losing my mind since I saw your face. It's like I can't help what I'm feeling these days. And I was doing just fine till I heard your name. It's like I can't help what I'm feeling these days. It's been 18 months and 11 days. I spent a long time working my way out of that haze. I've got worn down jeans and a leather soul. I spent a long time digging my way out of that hole. It's like I can't help it, but I feel it again. It's like I can't help it, but I feel it again. It's like I can't help it, but I feel it again. It's like I can't help it, but I feel it again. And I could close my eyes and remember the lights in the sky from the bleachers on the 4th of July. I was right.
To jump in with both feet and to go and cut that recording, I think is what a lot of truly creative people do.
yeah, I reached a point where I was just in this holding pattern of kind of suffering at this job. And I think the fear of waking up on my deathbed and asking myself, why the fuck did I never, why the hell did I never do these things or try these things like that mean the most to me, like, was scarier than spending another day in that stagnation,
So fast forward to you decided to create your own music group, Ben DeHan Music.
Mm-hmm.
You met your fiance, and at the time you weren't planning on like a big intense relationship, let alone getting married. And then she became part of your band. How the hell did that work out?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, like, yeah, I was single for a few years, and I had no intentions of, I thought I was at the point where I was just like, okay, I'm okay with, like, just hanging out and having, flings with people, and,
Like left.
yeah, I just,
Yeah, you're talking to a gay man. I get that. We'll edit that part out.
well, like, for the longest time prior to that, like, I felt like I had to have a relationship to be fulfilled, and, so I finally reached this place of, just being happy on my own, and, totally didn't expect it, but yeah, the night that I met Lauren, I don't know, I mean, like, I was like, what's going on here? I mean, because I had that feeling, I was like, I don't know, there's something like I just felt it immediately, and yeah, we moved pretty quick, and this is when I was still at that former job. Fast forward a month and a half or 2 months, and that's when I made that decision. Fast forward, I made the decision to leave, and by the way, I didn't even know she played cello until COVID. Yeah, no. So there was no plan of ever playing music together. I just, we fell in love, and.
So wait. Let me back up for 1 second, because I think this is kind of important. You were working in a straight job, normal job, 9 to 5 corporate job. You decided to go out and do your own thing musically. At the same time, roughly, you meet Lauren, fall in love.
Yeah.
And then now you quit your day job and decide to do music full time, and then not knowing Lauren even is into music, then you have COVID hit, and now you're starting basically a new business because that's what this is, and during a pandemic, and have a new relationship. So that's some pretty major life changes there, buddy.
Yeah. That's
All right, so you find out Lauren plays the cello, and then what happened?
So I just want to back up for 1 second, real quick. I think one big thing is, a lot of our success in life, depends on who we surround ourselves with, and obviously 90% of that is going to be the person you're closest with. So Lauren, before I knew she was a musician, was a huge piece of that. Like, I mean, she inspired me. She was so supportive about that change, and yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. Like, when we came together, we always joke about it because it's not been one like dull moment. It's just been one big thing after the other, and yeah, a lot of it can be stressful, but like these are great changes that we feel are happening. But sorry, to answer your question. So you asked if fast forward to the cello.
Yeah, cello. All of a sudden, you find out she plays the cello, and it's like,
Yeah.
how did you find out that she played the cello?
Yeah, I was. I think her mom like dropped it off at the apartment, and
Because
it's
they're
all
big.
cello. Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I asked her. I was like, what? Yeah, why is there a cello here? She was like, oh yeah, I play cello. I was like, and you didn't think to like to tell me
Help me to be this right.
this is like 6 months in, and cello is such a beautiful instrument. It's one of my favorite instruments, and yeah, so that day we started playing together, and we've been doing it ever since. And there was never any kind of I don't know, an intentional effort to play together in a band. It just kind of happened.
I wake up every morning trying to recreate the past. I wanna spread my wings and disbelieve it's gone. A lover in my ear whispers, don't embrace the fear. Breathing meaning back to life as days go by. And I'll wait with you as you wait for me. It's always just me and you. It's always just you and me. So pleasantly and honest.
But Oxon Hill 2021, there's a line in there, a lover in my ear whispering, don't embrace the fear. Is that kind of what she's bringing to the relationship?
Yeah. Funny, yeah.
Because I'm that way with my husband. I'm the one whispering in his ear, don't embrace the fear, And so I think it's evident in the music, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, like, that is 100% what she does for me, and so much more. I wrote that entire song about her in a day, and it's funny, we always joke about it, because I don't know, I think we were having a little bit of a whatever, a little fight over something stupid.
Creative people, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I played it for her, she was like, "It's okay." And now she's like, now she loves it, obviously, and she has her cello on there, but it's just funny, There's lyrics, or they really because I remember thinking like, damn, like these lyrics mean so much to me because they're so vulnerable, and it's how I'm waking up every day. Not anymore, but kind of like, you know, some days dwelling in the past, and you've been my total encouragement to say, hey, that doesn't really help us today. Like, what do you want in the future? And yeah.
So let's get back to COVID, because we touched on this briefly. When COVID hit back in March 2020, my schedule instantly cleared, and it remained clear for more than a year and a half. And I didn't know what the hell to do. I was the closest I've ever been to being clinically depressed, and I am not a depressed person. How was that for you? What did COVID, especially launching a new music group, how did that influence how you moved forward over the next year and a half?
I mean, I kind of just jumped. I mean, it was hard for me, just like anybody else, and weird, going for weeks at a time without like seeing another person. But yeah, no, I jumped right in, and I just leaned into it, and in some sort of weird way, like it allowed me like this mental freedom, almost like it was almost like I had permission to focus solely on this for once. And so I think it was in some way a blessing, I did at that time. I had already, probably a week or two prior to lockdown, started a songwriting challenge, where basically I wrote a song a day, and I set a timer on my iPhone for an hour, and I picked something to work on, and it didn't have to be good. It just had to be done. And I came out of that. It was supposed to only be 30 days. I did it for probably 120. And yeah, I mean, I came out with like maybe over 150 songs, something like that. And one of the best things that, I could recommend to any musician. And it's also funny because, like, I'm going back into the studio in November, and for about 2 days, I got, like, as soon as I booked it, I got the panic. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get these songs together, and like, blah, 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 blah. And like, I forgot about my process. And so on the third night, I was like, I had done a podcast with Alchemical Records in DC, and I heard the end of it where I said, I was talking about my process, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should try that again. So I hit the timer. I started with the idea that I wanted, and I finished a song that I'm incredibly proud of. So
is that Faded Ones?
Oh no, this is a brand new one. I'm going back into the studio in November. So
super cool. So you have a bunch of new stuff coming out.
The EP will drop on Friday. It'll probably be out by the time this podcast releases.
I woke up California with a ringing in my bones. The tone that grows is all she knows and all she'll ever show. And now I stand before you, just looking for my ghost. Despite the face I can't replace, it's all I'll ever know. Will you write to me again? No, this life is not the end.
touch a little bit. You've done a lot of touring over your career, both with other bands. I mentioned the Warped Tour, but Ben DeHan Music has been playing some pretty big venues in our area. And
last weekend we were at Jimmy's in Baltimore. I think the week before that we were at Full Tilt. But no, the last biggest show was Ramstead on stage in Annapolis. We had some crazy shows, but coming up, Autobar is this Saturday. It'll probably already have passed by the time this airs, but that's one of my favorite Baltimore venues to play. It's got the old school punk vibes. It's been around for over 50 years. And then after that, we'll be at the Pocket in DC, and then I'm really excited to be playing the Bitter End in Greenwich Village. That's a life goal of mine. So, man, you have Stevie Wonder, you have Ray Charles. I mean, Lady Gaga played there. Jimi Hendrix. I mean, Dylan. All the legendary New York musicians that place has as well as could speak. I'm sure. And
Ben said, if you're truly bitten by the music bug, it's in your DNA. That's how I feel about photography. From the time I was at Ground Zero and took those pictures that launched my career, from that very second, it was in my DNA. It was something I had to do. The only question was how to make it work, to make a living for myself. And that was Ben's question: how to journey and make music to replace his day job so that he could leave a legacy for the future. Something that he could be proud of. And now Ben, on his next tour, will join the stage of the Bitter End, a lifelong goal. And I'm sure he will be playing music long after that. Join me next time as we explore Baltimore's artists, activists, and entrepreneurs right here on the Patterson Park Podcast, all those people who march to their own drummer. Hope to see you soon.